Thanks again for the invitation to engage with the broader Enterprise Island community. Very exciting to see some of the products coming through. Just a bit of introduction. So I'm the chairman of MDMSA, and MDMSA is the medical device manufacturers of South Africa. We are a subsidiary of SAMED, which is the South African MedTech Industry Association. We have about 58 members who are manufacturing MedTech devices in South Africa, which is fairly small by comparison. So only 10%, well, less than 10% of the products available on the market in South Africa are locally manufactured. And what we've seen with COVID is that local manufacturing is critical to managing a pandemic, especially when you have countries locking down their supply. So I'm going to speak specifically to partnering on the manufacturing side locally on MedTech. So I'll share with you just highlights from our recent AGM. So what we do as MDMSA is create these types of opportunities where our members can engage with potential partners. We provide data, insight, and intelligence, and we encourage networking and promotion. So more or less aligned with what Enterprise Island does. On the engagement side, we engage with all the major stakeholders. So from the Department of Health to our colleagues at the DTI CU on the call today, and to a range of stakeholders. All these acronyms probably the Irish contingent are not quite familiar with, but that includes our regulator, SAPRA, our innovation agency, which is linked to our Department of Science and Innovation. And obviously, we look at stuff like making sure our members get paid, engaging with our National Treasury on these issues, and looking at innovation on the research and development side. We engage with the South African Medical Research Council, for example. And then we engage with the BE Chamber, because BE is quite an important issue to consider for Irish companies wanting to enter into South Africa from a localization perspective. Just in terms of some of the insight we provide, we share all kinds of communication with our members, and we arrange workshops. So if our members wanted to meet an Irish contingent, for example, workshops such as this one, we could arrange. And then we advocate for all kinds of policy issues on behalf of our members, in particular procurement and localization, and those issues of importance for our members. And then we partner with the DTI in terms of international meetings. So we typically would go to Arab Health, for example, on an annual basis if it wants this COVID type environment. And we had plans to go to Medica in Europe, but that was obviously canceled due to COVID as well. And then we provide insight. We've done a landscape analysis of the local medical device industry, which we can share with you post this meeting. And we're also engaging with the Ministry of Economic Development on the Health Master Plan for the industry. And hopefully that will include more partnerships such as the likes that we're discussing here today. Yes, and most importantly, we arrange networking for our members, meetings such as this, meetings with our parent organization, SAMED, the MedTech industry, chambers of commerce. So the Irish Chamber of Commerce would probably be a partner we'd like to engage with. And then I mentioned the workshops, international events. We arrange training, especially on regulatory issues. That is critical for companies to survive in the industry. And then we, in the process of putting together incubators, the likes of what I've seen in Ireland as well, where we get a conglomeration of different entities to create economies of scale for those smaller companies to try to grow organically in that way. And that's basically what we do as an organization. I just want to mention that I had the privilege a few years ago to travel to Ireland to visit with Enterprise Island, and was extremely impressed by the value chain of medical devices that are set up in Ireland. South Africa could certainly learn a lot from what Ireland has done. And I would encourage my colleagues from the DTI to actually go and have a visit there to see, just how well set up the medical device value chain is in Ireland. So yeah, looking forward to more engagement with Enterprise Ireland in future. Thank you for the invitation. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Marlon, and at short notice for making yourself available, and thanks for sharing all this. But maybe just before I go to the next speaker, what is Ireland doing right which South Africa is not, if you like? So in other words, what are the lessons that you learned from your trip?
The biggest lesson is the integration of the system. So that's why I made the comment of thanking Minister Troy for joining this meeting. That hands-on approach of the leadership is what we lack in this country. That's the first lesson. The second lesson is that the health master plan we're talking about, they have it. So it starts with the incentives for attracting multinational companies to Ireland. That creates the base on which to build a medtech industry. And then when you have those companies in country, we have it with the motor industry here in South Africa. I saw an announcement about Ford this morning. So there is best practice that we haven't learned from on the health side. Ireland is doing that in their health sector. So they have the base on which to grow the industry with the big international companies, and then they incorporate SMMEs into that value chain that then starts to look at export as a key driver of the industry. And then they do many other things on the education side with the universities, but it's an entirely integrated system. That is so fantastic to see, and something that we could learn from. We have all the components here in South Africa, and we can certainly learn from our Irish colleagues on how to do it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Marlon.